Thanks so much for having us all here. Taroona Community Association has done a marvellous job having everybody come out, and I'd also like to add my acknowledgement of the Tasmanian Aboriginal community, the traditional custodians of the land on which we are meeting here today. I pay my respects to elders past and present, and also to any Tasmanian Aboriginal people in the room with us today. This is land that was never ceded, and I recognise that. It's such a pleasure to be here as the independent member for Nelson. I was elected in 2019 to that role in quite an exciting contest because there were 10 of us running at that stage. Woohoo! Lucky you don't have 10 to listen to tonight, I reckon. And I ran initially for Parliament because of the background that I had in the community services sector. I'd been working in community services for 20 years, and the last 10 years of that, the work I was doing was in social policy research and advocacy, trying to influence from the outside government policy on social issues we'd see in that sector. And I'd had a lot of experience doing that, and after a while I thought, you know what, I might like to have a crack at taking that experience into Parliament and see if I can do more good in there as well. It really seemed like a natural extension. So I was absolutely delighted and privileged to be elected in 2019, and these past 6 years of my first term as the independent member for Nelson have actually been such a pleasure, such a challenge. It's the sort of role that I think is a perfect combination of heart and head. It's actually, on the one hand, all about connecting with people in the community, connecting with people in Parliament to work together, connecting with issues that are important to people, and being able to communicate and dialogue about those issues. But there's also a hell of a lot of head in it as well, because what we do in the Upper House is we are a house of review. We are the structural check and balance on any government of the day, whoever that might be. And our job is to review, to scrutinise and to hold to account. And we do it through a whole variety of different activities in Parliament. Things like the straightforward one is reviewing legislation. All legislation comes to us. As an independent member, I review every single piece of legislation. I have to arrive at a decision on it and vote on it according to my own thoughts and assessment. I do that by connecting with the community. I do that by connecting to experts. I do that by researching and working really hard. I don't have a party telling me how to vote like a party-aligned member of the Upper House will have. So I do the work, I make a decision, and I'm accountable for it to the community. We do scrutiny through estimates processes and inquiries. And this is where we get to question the government and interrogate policy that's happening or spending that's being decided on. And I actively participate in those processes. Inquiry-wise, I've been someone who's been proactive. Within months of being elected in 2019, I established a finfish inquiry looking at the salmon industry in this state. That was incredibly eye-opening and informative. In more recent years, I established with Rob Valentine an inquiry into the University of Tasmania Act, and that was in response to community coming to us to talk about a whole range of issues relating to the university that they were concerned about. The remit of the Parliament in that sense was the piece of legislation that underpins the governance of the university. So we felt it was important to have an inquiry to begin to look at that and see if there were matters to do with that underpinning piece of legislation that could have been contributing to some of the issues that were being seen, and whether we could think about ways to recommend improving that piece of legislation, updating it. Another eye-opening inquiry. So I'm very responsive to community. Both those major inquiries were ones that I established because community members came to me and asked for it. Community members come to me and ask to help get information all the time. I can do that in a whole range of ways, through asking questions in Parliament, through writing directly to governments and departments to seek information on their behalf. I help people put in RTI requests when they're trying to seek their own information but aren't quite sure how to navigate that. As an independent member of the Upper House, I can do every single bit of the job there every single day because I'm having to be accountable to my community and I'm not beholden to anyone. I'm not beholden to a party who tells me how to vote. I'm not beholden to vested interests who might be donors to my party, and I don't have to take into account trying to compete with the other party just because we want to be competing for government. I'm not competing to be the government. I'm there to be the best Upper House member, House of Review member that I can be for the people of Nelson, and to be accountable back to the people of Nelson for that. Now, I know there's lots of topical issues at the moment. We've heard them mentioned already. The stadium, matters to do with UTAS and the Sandy Bay campus are very relevant for the Nelson electorate. The future of our state, when it comes to our environment, absolutely is something many people want to talk about. One of the things I love to talk about is integrity. Integrity in politics and integrity in our democracy. It's what I ran on in 2019, a promise of integrity. I feel I've kept it at the centre of everything I do. I've had some great wins on it. They're not necessarily exciting front page news, but I'd love to talk to you about them. So happy to take questions. Thanks.
On the 24th of May, vote 1, Meg Webb Independent for Nelson.
My name is Meg Webb. I authorise this ad.